There are lots of ways that people on the South Coast celebrate the 4th of July. Fireworks shows, you can visit the beach, have a cookout with family and friends. In Mattapoisett, they have a road race in that community. This is the 47th annual 4th of July road race in Mattapoisett. With me is this year's race director, Bill Tilden, the athletic director at Old Rochester Regional High School, longtime member of the race committee, Dan White. Yep. Dan White, and also Bob Gardner, who was
our
founder.
Founding father, yes.
That's right, a founder of this race many years ago. But not that many. 47 isn't really that long. First, Bill, give us some details on the race, where it starts, how many participants have signed up. Give us the nuts and bolts, if you would.
The race starts and finishes right down the center of Mattapoisett, right at Shipyard Park. That's where you can we do number pickup the night before and that morning. Great views of the ocean down there. Then we take a nice run through scenic Mattapoisett, ending up with a highlight is going around Ned's Point Light, returning back down to the center. We've got about 600 runners signed up so far, which is about what our normal is for the pre-sign-ups. And then we usually around 1,000 to 1,100 each race, and we're very happy with that number. We're trying to keep it at that number. We really don't want to grow any larger. We think that's the right number for the streets, and that people don't take forever to get to the starting line, and everybody can get in and out and have a great time. Is
this a sanctioned race? Is it recognized?
Yeah, we have it sanctioned through the USATF.
Okay, very good. Let's talk for a moment with Bob Gardner. Bob, a founder of this race many years ago, 47 years ago. How did you get involved?
Well, at the time I was the principal of the junior high school and the high school as well. When I first began, I did both. But then the junior high school was created, and I became the principal there.
The Old Rochester Junior High School.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
And it occurred to me at some point, I forget exactly when, but it was around 1965 or 70, that it would be nice to have a race in town and to support the kids' scholarships for the post high school. And so we kicked it off, and I think we had 15 runners at the first race. And my wife and I were shepherding them in. And along the way, we've had some interesting episodes. My daughter was tagging the runners as they came in on a blackboard, and it rained that night, and we lost all of the entries somehow or other. So it was a catastrophe. We can't account for the people who actually ran the race, the first one. And a little bit thereafter, there was another situation where, Doug Fenniger, who was a former principal of Dartmouth Middle School, was one of our key observers, and he used to watch them come down Ned's Point and shepherd them down the street. And so he had a very interesting task, as you might guess. But let's see here. Bob Simmons was very much involved, and his wife, for a lot of years, and he's the former track coach at Dartmouth High School. Mm-hmm. So he was very much involved, as was Charlie Prefontaine, who was the owner and runner of the drugstore up in Mattapoisett.
Right.
Nice guy. At any rate, let's see. Danny and Holly White took over shortly thereafter, and how many years did you hang on to it?
12 years.
12 years for you.
Yeah, 1998 to 19...
when did this race
2000,
grow up, so to speak? The more people got involved, became sanctioned. Was it during your time, Bob, or Dan's time?
I think that it grew mostly during both of our times. I can't recall the numbers and to verify.
Bob had been doing it since the first race was in summer of 1970. Mm-hmm. Right, at that point, like he said, there was an affiliation. You had some runners, some kids. Running was not even big until 1970. I mean, people weren't out jogging before that, right? And I think there was the Mattapoisett Track Club had a couple. They had these summer things, and of course Bob would have a party at his house at the end of the year for all the teachers, and he invited them to this cookout and told them that they're going to be working on July 4th to help him with his road race. So he kind of had a captive audience there and of volunteers that he knew that they had to run. So Bob built it from that, and the numbers kept growing, and I guess they were tired. Jerry Oliver was working with you very much.
Jerry and Betty, yeah.
They've been doing it for many years, and they were looking to pass the event on to somebody else to take it over. And they had gone to one of the clubs in town in Mattapoisett about possibly doing it, and they were willing to do it, but they wanted to take 70% of the money was going to go up to research for eye exam, something else,
yeah.
And then 30% would come back to local stuff around Mattapoisett. And Bob and the team at that point didn't want that. They wanted all the money to stay to go to runners who graduated from Old Rochester, to give scholarships or awards, if you want, I guess is the best term for it. It's not really a scholarship, it's an award to be used for school, and which is what, so we, at that point in 1998, we had started the first ORR alumni organization. We were trying to get going with a golf tournament and trying to get this thing. And then Bob came to us and said, how about if the alumni, that's a great thing, let them take over the road race. And we did. We took it over from Bob, and then the alumni fizzled out, but we were still with the road race. And my wife and I did it for 12 years. So
all right.
I would say that, between those two, and then fortunate enough that Bill picked it up after my wife and I had, my wife had enough. She had done all the paperwork and all the stuff involving that. I mean, it was a year-round thing, Christmas cards and thank you letters, and, there was a lot of things that went year-round, and she got a little tired. And then Bill stepped to the plate and got a nice group of people in there today.
And how big is the committee now, Bill?
The group that shows up at the meetings is probably 15, I believe. But when we break it down into committees, some of them have other people on subcommittees. On the day of the race, we actually have probably 125 volunteers that are helping cover the course, helping do sign-ups, water stops. We've got 8 water stops for a 5-mile course, so nobody's you're probably more likely to drown than go down from dehydration during this race.
You're listening to Townsquare Sunday. My guest, Bill Tilden, the director of the 4th of July Road Race in Mattapoisett. Also Dan White, a longtime member of the race committee, and Bob Gardner, who was a founder of this race some 47 years ago. Now, this is, because it's a sanctioned race, I'm sure the runners very competitive. It's important who wins. They take it very seriously, obviously. But there's a lot of folks out there, I'm sure, out for a good time as well. I mean,
indeed.
I think there's more runners out for the good time than there are for competitive. We're not big on the prize money end of it because we really are pushing just to have a great time. We get the houses, the community involved. There's people that decorate their houses so the runners enjoy going by. There's music playing at so many houses. A lot of people with sprinklers out trying to cool off the runners because it's usually quite a hot day. So we try to turn it into a great big community event. And I think while we always do have some guys that can outright fly there, you have a lot of people that are just trying to see if they can actually do it on the 4th of July and, earn that right to have an extra burger or a beer at the end of the day.
Dan, tell us about scholarships or awards to runners. After expenses, money goes to ORR seniors. Is
right.
That basically what we're
yes,
talking about?
Exactly. And it's always a difficult because the high school graduates in June, and our race is in July, so it's sort of post-graduation that, so we can't really say, well, we're going to, and when these kids are graduating in June, we can't say how, because we don't know how many runners we're going to get,
Sure.
So we don't know how much money we got, but we've always managed to get at least 10 or 12. Isn't that right, Bill? Is it safe that we give up
the last
$1,000?
The last 5 years, we've been giving out on average $16,000 a year in awards.
That's great.
So, you know, it's funny. I just want to add something to what Bill said there. It's funny because a lot of people come to back home for July 4th weekend, right? They come, and they all go down to the Mattapoisett Inn, or the Inn at Shipyard Park, as it's called now, and they see all their buddies from high school back, and they're, oh, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, yeah. And they have a few beers, and the next thing you know, let's go run tomorrow morning. So, and the next morning rolls around, and it's like, I'm not sure if I can make this right. So, well, all right, I don't know. We'll try. So it's always a lot of people sign up the day of, the night before and the day of, and it's the sign-ups are right across the street from the Inn at Shipyard Park, so that, you know, the inn helps bring them over to sign up for the for the race.
What about the weather? Does race happen, rain or shine?
Indeed, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only time you change the date is when the 4th falls on a Sunday, I guess.
Right, just because we don't have enough parking. We don't want to take over all the church parking. They've been great to us about letting us use their parking lot so we can get all those people down there. When you've got 1,000 runners coming in, you're probably still looking at 750 cars, and then there's a lot of fans that come to watch and line the streets. So it's a very busy time. So that's the only day we avoid is July 4th Sundays.
What about security along the race course? Police, Mattapoisett Police help out, I'm sure.
Sure. We have at least 3 details at this point. We work closely with Chief Lyons, Anthony Days. Lieutenant Anthony Days is an avid runner, and he's told me that he's upset that he can't run it this year because he's got to work. But the police really maintain, and then they make sure that, for example, there is one section where we actually go along Route 6 up off of Church Street over to Old Marion Road. It goes along there. The police have that covered. They put the cones out, and they make sure that the roads, that there's no issues at all. We're very fortunate to have that. Have the coverage that we have. This year it's a little difficult. It's going to be a little tough for us this year. Only there's been an extensive amount of work being done on some of the drainage on some of the roads, and at some of the intersections that the runners are going to be running. They've actually, taken and they've dug it up, and they put the surface tar down, but they haven't really refinished it. So we talked to them, and they put a nice little ramp going in and out, and we're going to have people there just so that everybody knows that we're the highway department in Mattapoisett helps keep it safe. They grade around Ned's Point Light, so there's no rain gullies or any ankle biters along the way. They're resurfacing now with this resurfacing all of in and around the Ned's Point Road area. And around Holly Lane and Tupelo and those areas there, that they're finishing up today. The second coat, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I think we're going to be okay as far as the safety goes. But the police, actually, we have 2 officers too on bicycles, and they're going up and down the roads because sometimes people got to go somewhere, and you just got to make sure that. They're not driving in and about where the runners are coming down. And people are very good about it. We don't usually have any major issues. And there's always somebody that goes, if they do get down or if they have trouble during the race, we have an emergency truck that follows the race, and they can speed ahead and go to any location. And all our people who are volunteers who man the corners, who man along the way, they know that they can call 911 if they see anything along the way, and the police will be there.
Bob, a lot different than it was 47 years ago.
A lot more to think about, indeed. You're right. Yeah, it's really grown in that respect as well. I was going to mention the truck that trails the race and occasionally picks up people who weren't ready to do the running. Only occasionally, though.
Yeah. So it's a 5K race.
It's not. It's 5 mile. I meant the
5 mile.
Yeah,
Right.
It's 5 miles. They didn't have 5K back when we started, right?
No, that's true. Yeah.
5 mile race, and so we're keeping that tradition alive. Yeah.
Yep.
And is there a accompanying walk, or is this just the race? There's no fun walk or anything like that.
Well, in
the
past
race is the
we
race.
did. In past we did have that feature, but no longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the race. About 600 runners you expect will take part, Bob?
No, 600 have signed up so far. We'll be around 1,000.
We'll be around 1,000.
600 signed up online already.
Right.
But the night before, they all come down and people sign up at that. And the day of the race, we actually will take them up till race time. And we usually get, 200 the day of sometimes?
Yeah, usually 200 the night
we have
before and another 200.
2 tents down
the
there,
day of.
and they're signing them up as they come walking in. Like I say, people don't decide until the last minute that they're going to run. So
Okay, so if people wanted to sign up today, where do they go? Do they go to a website?
They can't. This website's now actually closed.
Okay.
So we can get all the shirts separated for the pre-registration tent and the post-registration.
Sure.
So now, if you show up the night on July 3rd,
4 o'clock
at 4 o'clock
at Shipyard Park.
At Shipyard Park from 4 to 6, we'll do sign-ups there.
T-shirts.
And then again that morning, the race is at 9 o'clock. We start doing sign-ups at 7:30 to get everybody signed up and ready to go, so they can go. We've had people sign up literally 5 minutes before the race has started to get them out on the course.
Very good. July 4th, Mattapoisett Road Race, a 5-mile road race. My guests have been race director Bill Tilden and longtime race committee member Dan White, a former president of the race committee and the founder of this race, and longtime president Bob Gardner. Thank you to all of you. Thanks for joining us. Good luck with the 4th of July road race in Mattapoisett. We'll be back in just a moment.